If you're currently running an online business with ADHD, your biggest enemy is not competition, it's inconsistency. Not because you don't care, but because you can't always force your brain into focusing. The scattered to-do list, the sudden energy burst followed by hours of staring at a blank cursor, the constant guilt of knowing what to do but feeling like you physically cannot seem to make yourself freaking do it. If any of that hit home, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact ADHD business hacks that finally helped me stop spiraling and start thriving online. I'm going to show you the systems, habits, and mindset shifts that finally helped me stay consistent and build a multi-six-figure business without changing who I am. ADHD business life hack number 1 is let hyperfocus times work for you. When your brain wants to work, let it. We've been conditioned to think that success looks like consistency, balance, structure. But if you have ADHD like I do, you know that sometimes none of that actually applies. There are days when everything feels super freaking heavy, super hard, or honestly just blank, and you disassociate. But then suddenly, the next day, you're flooded with ideas, flooded with motivation and mental clarity at a weirdly random hour. Now, this is by no means medical advice whatsoever, but the unspoken rule that says pace yourself, I'm going to tell you to actually ride this hyperfocus instead. Some of my most profitable product ideas, highest performing content, and business pivots happened because I followed a hyperfixation window instead of fighting it. I've had nights where I designed 15 product listings in one sitting, built a full webinar funnel from scratch, wrote out 30 days of emails on a random Tuesday, and outlined an entire course launch while walking my dog around my neighborhood. But here's the key, I do not beat myself up when that energy inevitably fades. I used to, for a super long time. But when I started to wake up the next day and felt like things were empty, I stopped forcing it. Because you just did yesterday the equivalent of what a neurotypical person can accomplish in a month within one day. It has taken me a long time personally to understand my ADHD hyperfocus cycle. Around 2 years of intensive therapy and focus. But once I did, I learned to trust it and work with it rather than against it. When you're on, you're on. And when you're off, you should be able to rest without guilt. This is not laziness. This is just energy management. And it's how I've been able to stay consistent over time without burning out. So if you've ever felt bad for not sticking to a rigid schedule, a rigid neurotypical schedule, don't, because you're not typical. You're extraordinary. You're not failing. You're just not built to work like a freaking robot. You're built for rhythms, waves, creative surges, and that's a strength, not a setback. ADHD online business life hack number 2 is to Pavlov your productivity. Stick with me. You guys ever heard of Pavlov's dogs? Yes, the ones that you learned about in psychology in high school or college. The dogs were conditioned to salivate at the sound of a random bell because they knew food was coming to them. I use this in my business every single day. I literally reward myself like a Pavlov's dog, and it works pretty well actually. When you have ADHD, your brain doesn't naturally give you dopamine just for checking things off a to-do list, even though I really love checking things off a to-do list. It instead needs something, some feeling of oomph at the end of the effort. And that's why forcing discipline has not worked for me long term. It's why just focus is useless advice. What we really need is positive reinforcement to do the thing. So I started building tiny reward systems into my day, like write this script and then you can have an avocado bagel and lavender matcha. Finish editing this video and you can get 30 seconds of guilt-free mindless scrolling on TikTok. Send that scary pitch email and then you can go sit in the sun with your snack and a book. And yeah, in a way, it is kind of like I'm bribing myself, but in reality, it's just behavioral science, and it works with your brain instead of against it. Over time, I noticed something pretty incredible. The hard task started feeling less heavy because my brain knew when we do this one uncomfortable thing, we get something awesome on the other side. And the even crazier realization I had is while I was actually doing the task that I initially did not want to do, when I completed it, I felt a sort of accomplishment, which actually tricked my brain into wanting to do more of the things that I initially didn't want to do. So I challenge you guys to think about a reward system that might work for your brain, something that feels good, something that makes the effort worth it. And once you find that, you'll be shocked at how much gets done without a corresponding shame spiral. ADHD and business life hack number 4, tell your RSD to suck it. I probably should change the name of that one, but here we are. Let's talk about something deeper for a second, something that doesn't get nearly enough air airtime in the online business world, especially for those of us with ADHD. You and me, sister. It's called rejection sensitivity dysphoria or disorder. And if you felt it, you already know how brutal it can be. It's that gut punch feeling when you launch something and no one buys, and it feels like a personal attack. You delete a video after 10 views because your brain screams, people must hate this. A client replies with a one-word message and suddenly you're spiraling about whether they secretly hate you. This is not being dramatic. This is neurology. RSD means that your brain experiences rejection, even perceived rejection, as actual pain, and it makes you feel unworthy, embarrassed, or ashamed, sometimes before anything has ever even happened. And in the online business world where feedback is constant and often silent, it can paralyze you. But here's the reframe that saved me and keeps saving me honestly every single day. I am not building my business for everyone. I am not here to be universally loved. I am here to show up consistently, drop breadcrumbs of value, and let the right people come to me. Not every video is meant to go viral. Mine sure don't. Not every launch needs 1,000 signups. Not every client is meant to renew. And that doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you are filtering. Every piece of content is a signal. Every email, every offer, every reel, it's a signal for the people who are meant to walk with you. So if you've been holding back because you're afraid they won't like it, what if they were never your people to begin with? So create anyway. And that one brave act of posting the thing, or sending the cold pitch, or giving constructive feedback to a client, it just might be the breadcrumbs someone else needed to find their way forward with you. That's the kind of business that's worth sticking with even on the hard days. All right, ADHD online business life hack number 5. Build a business that bends with you. Some days you're going to be unstoppable. We already talked about that in the beginning. You'll knock out content. You'll reply to every email. You're brainstorming 10 new YouTube script ideas, and you're wondering if you've unlocked some secret code. But other days, you feel like a houseplant. You'll crave sun, silence, snacks, and absolutely no sudden movements. And both versions of you, they deserve to be respected and celebrated, not punished. That's why I stopped building a business that relies on me being on every single day and starting building one that bends with me. That looks like automating what drains me. From email sequences to delivery systems, I set things up once and let them run while I rest. It also looks like creating flexible offers, digital products, asynchronous coaching, content I can sell again and again and again without burning out. And it also looks like designing low energy fallback plans. So if I inevitably sometimes wake up in a fog, my business doesn't fall apart. It keeps humming in the background waiting for my return. Because thriving with ADHD isn't about pushing through every low energy day with grit and insane amounts of caffeine. It's about designing a system that honors your brain, how it actually operates, and still supports your goals on the days that you need to unplug. This video is not about overcoming ADHD to become successful. It's about adapting success to fit an ADHD brain. Because here's the truth, you can absolutely thrive as an ADHD entrepreneur. Some of the most wealthy people in the entire world suffer from ADHD, but it's not because they finally figured it out. It's because they gave themselves permission to build a business that honors how they work best. Your quirks, your creativity, your cycles of energy and silence, they're not flaws. They're your edge. And I hope you feel even just the teeniest bit more empowered to believe that truth today. Boop that like button for this video if that's the case. And I encourage you guys to check out this video next, where I'm going to go over how those ADHD flaws that you think you might have could actually be your online business superpowers. I'll see you guys over there.